The poplikmonster, the whistle that steals you from the dark. They teach children how to cross streets. They teach them to stop, look, listen. But in our town, they teach one rule above all others. Never respond to the whistling near the tracks. Because the poplikmonster doesn't hunt by force. It hunts by invitation. The bridge squats at the edge of town like a dying animal, iron ribs exposed, rust flaking like scabs. During the day, it looks abandoned. At night, it hums softly, as if something inside it is awake. People say the bridge is where it first appeared. Others say the bridge is what it wears. No one agrees on what the poplik truly is, only on what it takes. Aaron disappeared on a Tuesday. He texted me at 11:42 p.m. I hear it. It knows my name. 10 minutes later, I heard the train horn screaming across town. His shoes were found neatly placed beside the tracks, like he'd been folded away. Every survivor tells a different story, but the ending is always the same. A woman crawled out of the ravine with her legs twisted backward like a deer's. She said the poplik sounded like her husband when it spoke. She said it apologized after it broke her. A man was found clinging to a bridge pillar, fingernails completely worn away. He couldn't speak, only bleated when the lights were too bright. None of them stay human for long. Doctors call it trauma. The X-rays say otherwise. The poplik doesn't kill you quickly. It studies you first. It copies how you walk, how you speak, how you sound when you beg. It wears your voice like a recording, and when it decides you are ready, it lets you go. 3 nights after Aaron vanished, the whistling came to my window. Soft, careful, patient, not loud, not threatening. It sounded lonely. "Aaron?" I whispered. The whistle stopped. Then my own voice answered from the dark. "I'm cold," my reflection smiled when I hadn't. People told me not to return to the bridge. They said the poplik only takes those who come willingly the second time. But grief is louder than fear. The tracks were wet with fog when I arrived. My phone lost signal. Even the night insects were silent, as if the world itself was listening. I heard hooves on steel above me, slow, deliberate. Then I heard Aaron laughing. "Why did you leave me here?" his voice asked from the dark above. I looked up and saw myself hanging upside down from the beams. Same face, same eyes, wrong legs. The poplik climbed down in pieces, first the arms, then the spine, then the legs locked into place backward with a sound like snapped antlers. It circled me. "Your brother made so much noise when he changed," it said gently. "You are quieter." I asked what it did to him. It tilted its head. I improved him. Then it showed me where they all go. Beneath the bridge is a nest of bodies fused into the stone, hundreds of them. People half absorbed into the concrete, faces frozen mid-scream, bones growing through rusted steel. Some were still breathing, some were still whistling. The poplik told me why it hunts. It was once a man crushed beneath a train a century ago. His body wasn't found for weeks. When people finally cleared the wreckage, something else crawled out with him, something that learned hunger from humans, something that learned voices. It cannot make new bodies, only rewrite existing ones. I don't remember leaving the bridge. I only remember waking up in a hospital bed with my legs strapped down and the smell of iron in my mouth. They said I wandered into traffic screaming like an animal. They said I kept asking for my hooves. I didn't notice the changes right away. Not at first. They only happened at night when I was tired enough to doubt myself. My knees would ache for no reason. My reflection would lag behind me by half a breath. And sometimes, without meaning to, I would start to whistle. At 3:11 a.m., the night nurse reported that the whistling had stopped. For the first time in weeks, the ward was quiet. Too quiet. They found my room empty minutes later. The restraints were still locked, but my legs were no longer in them. They were folded neatly beneath the bed. The window was open. Cold air poured inside, carrying the faint scent of rust and rain. From the street below, a single soft whistle rose into the dark. Not frantic, not afraid. Patient. Search teams followed the sound to the edge of town. To the bridge, they found footprints in the mud. Deep, narrow impressions pressed far too hard into the earth. Hoof-shaped, fresh. But they also found human footprints alongside them. Bare feet, bloody, walking willingly, side by side. By dawn, the tracks were empty again. No blood, no body, only the sound some swore they still heard echoing under the bridge long after the search was called off. A duet. Two voices, perfectly in sync. The Poplik doesn't drag people screaming anymore. It doesn't need to. It learned patience, it learned loneliness, it learned how grief sounds when it breaks inside a chest. Now it waits for those who already feel hollow, the ones who have lost someone to the tracks, the ones who go searching, the ones who survive, because survival is the infection, and once the Poplik lets you go, once it walks beside you in the dark, you are no longer prey. You are practice. You are training. You are the voice it will use next. Sometimes, late at night, the town hears two different whistles drifting from beneath the bridge. One is deep and broken, the other is familiar, comforting, almost kind. Parents pull their children inside when they hear it. Old survivors start locking their doors again because they understand what the rest of the town refuses to accept. The Poplik is not alone anymore, and it's no longer hunting strangers. It's teaching its replacements. If you made it to the end, you've already heard the warning. The whistling doesn't mean it's near. It means it already chose someone. Like, subscribe, and don't forget to lock your windows tonight, because the tracks are always listening.